I replaced all my Lululemon shorts with Bird Dogs. Bird Dog shorts do the exact same thing, but fit way better. They actually look like khaki shorts, so I can wear them all day for my morning hike or bike ride to the bar. I can't stop wearing them. Join over 1 million guys who discovered the best shorts on the market. Go to birddogs.com/MLB and enter promo code BASEBALL for a free baseball hat with your order. That's birddogs.com/MLB. Promo code BASEBALL for a free hat. You won't want to take your bird dogs off. We promise you.
When life gets crazy busy, and when doesn't it? Walmart helps you keep it all together, now with a little help from Instacart. If you need your groceries now-ish, but your options for going to Walmart are later-ish or never-ish, you can get everything you need delivered through Instacart right to your door in as fast as an hour. Skip the shop and savor more of your crazy busy life with Walmart and Instacart. Visit instacart.com to get free delivery on your first 3 orders. Offer valid for a limited time. Minimum order $10. Additional terms apply.
All right. So this has gone exactly where I thought it would go, because this is what happens anytime we start to talk about these kinds of things. Let's get to a few of the comments here. So we'll start with Austin. These are comments to our video stream. We're talking about Jamar Chase saying Pat who, and now they're going back and forth a little bit, and Kelsey, and it just brings up this like general idea that Jamar Chase chooses Joe Burrow over Mahomes is outrageous. Now the language is one thing, that's just trash talk, whatever. So Austin says, all the respect for Burrow, he's a good quarterback, just don't think he's great until he wins a Super Bowl, just my opinion. But I would ask you, Austin, did you not think Mahomes was great before they won the Super Bowl? So like all the way up until Super Bowl Sunday when they beat the 49ers, you did not think Mahomes was great? Because I don't believe that for a second. Of course you thought he was great. It's okay to think Joe Burrow's great, even though he hasn't won a Super Bowl in 2 full seasons in the NFL. I mean, I don't buy that for a second, Tommy. Everybody thought Mahomes was great before that Sunday he won that Super Bowl.
Well, of course. And so I feel like with what Burrow has done over the last couple of years, I think it's okay to say he's great, right?
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that he's better than Mahomes.
No, he's not.
He's
not.
great.
Well, I don't care. So here's the other thing. Like, rings aren't everything. Rings are certainly something. Sometimes I don't think we trust our eyes enough. Like, is Dan Marino not one of the greatest quarterbacks that ever played football?
Sure, but of course he's going to get, dinged for never having a championship.
Right. But that, again, is he not one of the greatest that ever played football?
One of them, for sure. Yeah. I mean, he's certainly up there.
I don't care. I don't care if Joe Burrow never wins a ring. For whatever reason, we can still watch him play football and say, God, this guy might be one of the greatest that's ever played. Like, rings are a great statistic and a great equalizer and a great component to like help decide these things. Certainly, it's why we call Tom Brady the GOAT. Nobody's saying, like, if Tom Brady didn't have the rings, nobody would say, if it was just his ability, nobody would ever say Tom Brady's the best quarterback that ever played football. He's the GOAT because he has the rings. He's not the most physically gifted quarterback that's ever played football. Patrick Mahomes, by the way, has a chance to do both of those things. I don't think he'll catch Brady's rings. I think it's an unachievable feat now. But he is going to be in the conversation. Already is, might already be, physically speaking, for the things that he does, the best we've ever seen. I think just from the ability to play the position of quarterback, Joe Burrow could get into that conversation. Andrew, it just says, what a bizarre conversation. Saying that Burrow is the second best active quarterback does not contradict the belief that Mahomes is the best. What are we arguing about? I don't think anybody's really arguing here either, by the way, which is why this gets a little bit confusing. It's just understanding that Burrow is that good and on this crazy trajectory, but you don't have to immediately then say, yeah, but he doesn't have rings yet and Mahomes doesn't. Yeah, he didn't put up 5,000 yards like Mahomes did. And yeah, he didn't do this. And how dare you say he had a better season than Mahomes in 2021, which by all metrics he did. He went further in the playoffs and had better numbers. That's okay. Nobody's saying he's better than Mahomes. We're saying he had a better season than Mahomes. It's okay to say that because he did. So that's where this comes from, Andrew, a little bit.
But it's also, again, the language from Jamar Chase. And I know he likes to have fun with things.
Yeah.
And I know he likes to trash talk things. But his own words not only propped up his boy Joe Burrow, but diminished Patrick Mahomes. That's where this comes from. That's, I think the bottom line is that both things can be true. It can be true that both quarterbacks are great. It can be true that both quarterbacks currently have an opportunity to be some of the greatest of all time. Both things can be true, and you can build one up without tearing down the other. That's okay, and I think that it can be a common belief that as of right now, overall, the total body of work, Mahomes is 1, Burrow is 2, end of story, we're done.
Totally.
Let's move on.
I don't care. I don't even care about the body of work. Just my eyes, Tommy. Like, my eyes tell me that Mahomes is 1. We've never seen anybody that can do the things that Mahomes can do, right? Body of work's going to be better for Mahomes because he's been in the league longer. It's just like when we watch somebody play football, Patrick Mahomes, when we watch him, does things that nobody has ever done or been able to do. That's what makes Mahomes the best to me. He is in the perfect situation to win Super Bowls. If Patrick Mahomes would have been drafted by the Washington Commanders, he probably wouldn't have a Super Bowl ring right now. Does that make him less of a good quarterback? No, of course it doesn't. Captain K and Squirrel Boy, nice name, brings up this. Burrow was drafted by a 2-12 team and a first-year head coach and wound up having a major injury. Mahomes was drafted by a 12-4 team with an almost Hall of Fame coach and a one-year great pro mentor. Hard to compare the two situations. That's what my point with Earl was. Like, Mahomes was dropped into there could not have been a better situation for Mahomes to land than where he landed, with Andy Reid, with Alex Smith, with Travis Kelce, and at the time, Tyreek Hill. Couldn't have been better, okay? Burrow didn't get that. Now, I will say, though, that very quickly, Cincinnati has done a lot of things to make Burrow's life better, but let's not forget the year the Bengals went to the Super Bowl, there was no more sacked quarterback in football than Joe Burrow. He got crushed that year and still did what he did. I just don't think, and maybe this has just happened as we've gone through this conversation, I just don't think Burrow may be getting enough credit as to what he's done thus far in his career.
Burrow's getting a significant amount of credit.
Oh, no, I think there's still people that think Josh Allen's better than Joe Burrow.
Okay, cool. I mean, they're all the three best quarterbacks in the NFL, right? And so if you want to argue the difference between 2 and 3, like, that's fine, I guess. I don't think that there is not a single person who follows football that would look at Joe Burrow and say, nah, he's not very good. Right? Like, that's
that's not what I mean. I just mean I think because
he's getting a significant amount of credit. I mean,
sometimes he turned
that team, or he led that team to a Super Bowl. He turned the team around. He's got, great numbers, great statistics. He's done a really, really nice job. Nobody at all is diminishing his accomplishments, but at the same time, I'm not going to be willing to say because Mahomes came into a situation that was better than Burrow, then that's going to ding Mahomes. Like, that's not fair.
No, I'm not saying it dings Mahomes. Right? It just provides perspective. And I'm more curious about this than anything. Like, I'm not arguing. Like, this is not a place of contention for me. I don't care. But I do wonder now as we talk aloud, like, I wonder how much Mahomes' shadow plays a fact. Because the unfair thing that will always happen to Burrow is he's always going to get compared. Like, it's always going to be, but it's not Mahomes, right? So that's interesting, too, to think about. Like, imagine if there wasn't that and what Burrow's accomplished. Like, that's what I mean about his potential, and his ceiling is so dadgum high. I don't think Josh Allen's is anywhere near that. Like, I don't think Jalen Hurts or Josh Allen or anybody else that's playing football right now outside of Patrick Mahomes is anywhere near the ceiling that we have with Joe Burrow. And I just don't know how much that conversation was happening with Patrick Mahomes, right? Very, very early on. I don't know if it's happening for Burrow, and I think it's probably because of Mahomes' shadow, which, I mean, Mahomes' shadow is as big as it possibly can be.
Nobody is saying that Burrow is not a quality quarterback. Like, nobody is saying...
Well, quality and what I'm talking about are probably a little far apart. I'm talking about where Burrow could end up.
I think it's wrong to say, well, because of Patrick Mahomes, that makes Joe Burrow not a good quarterback. Like, that's not. I think that the shadow of Mahomes.
I'm talking about, like, trajectory.
The shadow of Mahomes, like,
where could he end up?
Not sure. I mean, he can absolutely ascend to an incredibly high level, regardless of what Patrick Mahomes does or doesn't do. Like, those two things are not mutually exclusive at all, right? Like, I don't think that Mahomes is.
like, how much more does he even need to ascend, though? Like, and we'll get to the IHOP hotline because we got some callers lined up. Like, if he just stays healthy and continues to do what he's done in his 2 healthy seasons, is there much more ascension needed, obviously, outside of winning a Super Bowl? But he's been to the AFC Championship 2 years in a row, and the Super Bowl one of those 2 years. Like, I wonder how much more ascension there even is needed, as much as it is now. It just is a longevity piece to this, because I think it's closer to that than him needing to take it to the next level. I think he's at the next level. Let's jump to the IHOP hotline. We'll get to Bill first. 869-1240. It's open. Bill, what's on your mind?
Hey, good morning. Hey, I would agree with what the what was his name, Squirrel Nuts or whatever he said. I think he got the simple fact that we're talking about a Bengals quarterback says a lot, because the Bengals have been irrelevant since the beginning, since the 88 or 89 or 90, whenever they that 1 year.
Carson Palmer had some years, but yeah.
Yeah. So say, just for argument's sake, if Burrow goes back to back, is Mahomes still, if Burrow goes back to back these next 2 years and wins a Super Bowl, you still consider Mahomes? Because obviously, if Burrow goes back to back, then he's had 2 pretty good years. Then do you start going 1A and 1B? Just
maybe, but
that's what we're doing.
It's a good. I think there are 2 good, for argument's sake, things you can do for this conversation. You could say, what if Burrow played for the Chiefs and what if Mahomes played for the Bengals? Right? If you switch their roles, I think that's one way you can do it. But here's my point on that, Bill, and this is for Mahomes. I don't care if Burrow wins the next 3 Super Bowls. I'm still not going to think he's a better player of that position than Patrick Mahomes. That's so okay. Like, I try to step away from the rings a little bit, because I think that's such a hard thing to compare. And I just say, like, I just watch these 2 guys play football. Mahomes can do things that nobody else has ever been able to do, and does them consistently. And it's not just like the trick throws or all that, which is fun. It's like the lateral agility and the speed side to side and his ability to run that nobody thinks he has, but he does have. And then the arm strength and the stupid accuracy and the brains and the way he composes himself and does all those things. That's where it is from home. So, the rings aside, if Burrow wins the next 2 and Mahomes doesn't, and they both have 2 rings, that's not going to change it for me. I still think Mahomes, just playing the position, I think is the best we've ever seen do it. But I don't think Burrow's that far off of that. I really don't. Like, I think that he's got a chance to be right there with him. Let's take a quick break. We'll get to Doug on the other side. Hang with us, Doug, through the break here. We'll continue the conversation, get back to the IHOP hotline. It's all Brockton Caster at Sports Daily on a Friday.
Looking for an adventure? Find yours in a Toyota truck. Like a Tacoma, the ultimate off-road machine. With available crawl control, you'll tackle anything in your way. Or an electrified Tundra with more power than ever before and a spacious high-tech cabin that puts you in charge. Or go with the legendary 4Runner, always reliable and durable over the toughest terrain. No matter your adventure, Toyota has you covered. Visit buyatoyota.com for more, and let's go places.
Nationals baseball is in full swing.
Strike 3 called. He got him looking. That's 10 strikeouts for Mackenzie Gore.
With the free Odyssey app, local fans can listen live all summer long, whether you're at the grill or at the pool.
Going, and gone. Goodbye. C.J. Abrams, a grand slam.
Nationals baseball. Nationals announcers streaming live on the free Odyssey app. AUDACY. Get in the game and download it today.
Ready for summer and want an enjoyable day trip? Head to Fauquier County, Virginia, just off I-66, nestled in the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains. Fauquier County has over 25 local wineries, breweries, hiking trails, and Rappahannock River access. Check out visitfauquier.com for details. Fauquier County, find what you love.